Like it's like a camel toe. It's
Oh,
weird.
you're wearing camel toes.
You know,
Yes,
like-
how
like
lucky I am.
These socks that have like the separate toe thing.
Yeah, they look like
It doesn't
pussies.
look great. I'm like this. I feel like I'm getting.
You think that you feel kind of like you have a 500 shoe on your ass right now?
You have $500.
Six per.
Yeah. Oh, you have a
Yeah,
feel good song for us, right?
Yeah, but seriously, you need to subscribe because we need to pay for the copyright.
So it's a movie about the Jamaican team trying to make it into the bobsleigh Olympic Games.
No, I can tell you the name in Spanish. Jamaica bajo cero.
So
Jamaica.
which means Jamaica what?
Under 0 degrees.
Cool Runnings movie title in French is.
Where is our tambor?
It's in the back, but wait. Cool Runnings in French. The title is. At what age did you see your firstborn?
Very young.
Like what?
I'm sorry, mom, dad. And we start,
9.
like ding, 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 ding. I'm here to fix your plumbing. I don't remember exactly the plot, but then we saw like, and I was like, what?
I was not sexual yet. At 8, I wasn't sexual. At 9, I wasn't sexual. At 10, I wasn't sexual.
At 43, I wasn't sexual.
43, I'm not sexual anymore. Exactly. Hello and welcome to
Hello.
Super Right.
Now,
Yes, welcome to the show.
with Pepe and
Fiona.
Fiona.
Fiona!
I'm Pepe. He's Fiona.
No, I don't think so. Let me see my no-no zone.
What?
Okay,
Yeah,
no.
I am a Fiona.
Yeah, you're I am
Pepe.
undecided.
Peona.
Not sure yet. Not
You're-
enough evidence for conclusion.
He is a peona.
A peona,
A
yes.
peona. Unidentified.
Okay, yeah, I
So-
need to know to which category I belong at
He's delicate.
this point
He's
because I am not sure. Or
Your
maybe
gender?
we can talk about that a little bit later, like about sex or like thereof.
You don't have sex?
We can talk about that later, about sex and or like thereof.
Like thereof, most likely.
So you remember last time I talked about sneakers.
Yeah, you talk about sneakers.
There's a pair of sneakers right
Uh-huh.
now, which is like off-white Nike Air Jordan 4,
Uh-huh.
but it's going to be released
They are nice?
in a few days. They are really super.
Are you going to buy them?
Super nice. They're off-white, so that means it's like kind of custom type of sneakers. They're
Sneakers?
really popular. They're going to go for $200, but
$200.
as soon as you get them, I think they're going to be worth at least $600 because of the.
So
off-white thing.
if you don't go
Let me
into the
show it.
raffle, if you get to the raffle
Yes.
and you get them, you pay $200. But if you don't, you most likely, if you want them, you will be paying $600.
No, they are $200.
Yeah, but if you get it on the raffle,
But if you get it, if you can buy them, then the price is going to go up right away. So, like we're talking about like making money out of this.
Uh-huh.
You need to be whether on list, but the thing is that I never won any raffle. Like it's not even winning.
you're a loser.
It's not even. It's
Yeah,
not even.
every
it's-
time you see him doing this, it's because my tone of voice. It's
Yeah,
very
but I'm sure
loud.
everybody's doing the same anyway. Like
No.
No, like I never won. It's not like winning the raffle, it's just being picked, and then you pay for the shoes.
Mhm.
But I never got picked because people are making a lot of money on that, and they use bots to do the raffles.
Really?
So it gives like different IP addresses, email addresses, like hundreds and hundreds, so they can be picked and they can get the shoes.
The shoes?
Maybe 1, 2, 3, or 50.
How these bots works? I have no clue.
It just automated, like if the sales
I know what
starts
a bot
like
is,
like.
but I don't know how they work.
So they do the raffle a few days before. So they just go on and on and on and on and on, and there are like 100,000 entries for one person that wants to buy a lot of them, because they know it's going to be triple value right the same day. So they want to resell them and make a profit, of course. And so instead of having like 5 computers and 5 IP addresses and 5 different email address with 5 different identity and profiles, they have like this automated thing that are called bots that just do it for you, and they enter the raffle like hundreds of times.
How much you?
I mean, I'm not technically, I'm not that good, but I mean, I like sneakers, but I wouldn't go that far. Obviously, these people want to make money, so that's why they go to this extent to get the sneakers, because they know the value is going to triple right at the day of release. Yeah, these are really nice. And I saw Nike that is going to release a pair of shoes. I don't think I ever remember like a mainstream, because this one was like a custom limited.
I like the color
like the Off-White Air Jordan 4 WMNS. This is like basically a limited limited offer, limited edition. The other ones are the ones that are going to be released and soon in the US, and it's the Road Warrior, and it's part of the what is called the ISPA. Let me see real quick. The ISPA Road Warrior, and I think these, like, I'm not there every day. It's the first time that I see a pair of shoes at $500, like a mainstream pair of Nike. It's this one. I mean, this picture is not really great, but it has like 2 zooms thing. Okay, I need to show again, and I don't see. But $500 for a shoe that is going to be available in store.
So that means
it's not a limited edition at all.
Oh,
so
wow.
Let me see. This one. Road Warrior.
Okay, show it to me. I am the one who giving opinions here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're like futuristic for sure.
They are, very futuristic.
I like the color. The thing is that they have like a kind of a toe thing. Like it's like a camel toe. It's weird.
You're wearing camel toes.
You know,
yes,
like,
how lucky I am.
These socks that have like the separate toe thing.
Yeah, they look like
it doesn't
pussies.
Look great. Yeah, okay, well, that's what camel toe is. That was the reference. But you know, like also
as well,
like a few years ago, it was like you remember these people, like these people.
What people?
Like the simplistic shoes that were only like like the sole, and on top it was only like neoprene or something, and you have like the toe separated.
Horrible ones.
And people were running and walking with these
for the beach and everything.
Yeah. Well, originally it was for that, but I was seeing that everywhere. That was like
those,
6-7 years ago, something like that.
Yeah,
and then it just disappeared. You know why?
Because they're horrible.
Because it looks really bad.
Yeah, they're horrible. I mean, I'm not into that type of futuristic stuff, and I don't think I would pay $500 for those sneakers.
Well, and that's like a good example, because that's the big difference between a new pair of shoe like this. So they don't know how it's going to hold. They know that they put $500 because of the technology they use, etc.
What kind of technology?
A lot of development like this, the zoom thing. It has like 2 zooms. It's like it bounces back or whatever. It's super light, and you pay for the development of the shoe and the materials and fabric and stuff like that. So, but they're going to release that, but you don't know how it's going to hold. Like if I buy that tomorrow for $500, maybe it's going to be worth $200 tomorrow, because it will not be a success. While the Air Jordan 4 that was released like, I don't know, like maybe 92, 93, something like 91 maybe 91. Probably 1991. So this is like a 30-year-old shoe, the Air Jordan 4.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a classic. It's a limited edition, and you know it's going to sell because this is a sure value. The new ones, you don't know. You can buy $500 and keep it in your closet for 10 years, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, this thing that nobody liked." That was
so. If you buy, like, if you get the $500, you will use them, or What would you
Yeah,
do?
I will not buy a pair of shoes $500 right now at all.
I'm saying if you could,
If I could,
if you don't need to pay your taxes or do your taxes.
yeah. If I could, these I would buy them if I could, because they're interesting.
For regular use or for your inside sneakers?
It will start with inside, of course, for a few months, 3-4 months, and then
it's plural.
And then I will take them outside. But you're right. I need to pay my taxes.
I need to pay my taxes.
And I cannot pay my taxes because there is one thing.
Why?
There is one thing about divorce that we don't think about.
Is taxes?
And well,
or you did not think about.
Yeah, we think about it, but the lawyers. So first of all, when you think the lawyers are not going to be involved and it's going to be amicable, so that's already like $20,000 of your pocket that you were not expecting. So that's the first thing. And then you want to make it quick, so you take shortcuts because it's going to cost you a lot of money if you don't compromise on some things. Then you make too much compromises, and then when you
He's crying.
And then inside, yes, and then when you ask, so how is it about like taxes? They tell you we don't advise on taxes because we're not experts. So go see an accountant or whatever. And of course you don't do it because you're in the middle of a freaking drama in your life and you're trying to hold it to keep it together and take care of your daughter and stuff like that. And then tax day is coming, and when you put all your information, and I was used to get a return because I was
a household.
Head of the household, yes.
Head of the household.
And I was like, maybe I think I read that I'm going to pay something because I'm it's going to be a little bit different, but I didn't know it was going to be like that different. It went from return to over almost $6,000 now.
Shit.
And I was not expecting that whatsoever. And so.
But do you think you're
my ass hurts right now? Like I'm like this. I feel like I'm getting.
You think that you feel kind of like you have a 500 shoe on your ass right now?
$500
six per.
Yeah, no.
A hurting hole.
No, but it does hurt a lot. It does hurt, and I don't want to think about it, but
I mean, you have to think about it because you need to.
And I'm trying to see like if everything was done right or not. And
you should go to an accountant or something.
No, I use TurboTax.
Yes, well,
but
your situation now it's different.
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I don't have any assets. I don't so it's kind of.
And apparently, your ass doesn't belong to you anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It belongs to IRS.
Yeah, so that's.
So let's cheer our friend Pepe.
Yeah. Oh, you have a feel good song for us, right?
Yeah, but seriously, you need to subscribe because we need to pay for the copyright. Because I really like this song. I'm not super fan of this group.
Yes.
Because this is the type of groups that it's indie rock,
the
pop.
band, you mean?
Yeah. But they sing like very happy songs, and it's okay. Like probably you will remember this group.
It's the feel good song.
Yeah, I know, but it's of Monster of Men.
Mm-hmm.
It's an Icelandic group.
Icelandic, just like the Eurovision.
Yeah, you're just like I remember that yesterday. So probably you remember this song. If you don't, you can. It's the first release song. It's in 2011. It was Little Talks. Mm-hmm. It got it was on the charts, first place for several weeks. And they won like a lot of platinum certifications around the world.
We can only do 7 seconds.
Yeah, we can only do 7 seconds. But I like this song.
Okay.
The last one. Hold on.
No, I get it. So
and they won a battle of bands in 2010. So that's why they got like super famous in Iceland. And they only have like 3... What?
Well, I cannot talk.
Response. They only have 3 albums and 1 live album. Mm-hmm. The first one was the one that it was really popular. My Head is an Animal. That's the name of the first album, which is the one that has like several platinums records and whatever. And the last one, which is the one that I found on iTunes because of my recommendations, The name of the song is Wars, and they released this album on 2010. Yeah, puta, puta, ponle.
3, 2, 1.
Are you counting?
That's it. That's 7 seconds.
Okay, then we are going to dance, and you are going to not going to listen, whatever. But
Okay, that was quick.
yeah, like yeah.
Like yeah. Yes, I don't like this song.
You don't like this song? Why?
No, this is like typically the type of song like
It's
super mainstream, super
super mainstream. You like Beyonce?
Who?
Beyonce?
Yes, I like Beyonce because she's great. Most of the time, she's great. But this is like, well, I have a thing. Maybe we don't have time to talk about it, but I have this type of things. Like, I like to like what people like usually.
Oh.
So I force myself
To listen Beyonce?
not to listen to some things or watch some movies because I know that deep inside of me, I want to like it. And I
like what?
So I force myself and I don't like it. So there is one thing, and I don't know what it is. I have this thing that is never fails. Is I cannot listen to British music, and I cannot watch British movies. And I love Monty Python's. There are a lot of things that I love, like Terry Gilliam.
There's
Terry Gilliam is
Full Monty. Did you watch
American.
that? Full Monty?
Yeah,
I like that movie. And Trainspotting?
No.
Trainspotting?
It makes me depressed.
You don't know?
No, like the streets of England and I lived in London. I love London and I love British people and I like it. I want to like it, but every time I don't like it.
Because you were living probably not a very good experience.
No. It's since I was little, and there is no British band that I can tell you that I love.
Probably already lost like 7 million British subscribers and followers.
Actually, so there are exceptions. I love Portishead. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I only released like 3 albums, and the last one was in 2010.
Oasis. Do you love Oasis?
Oh, I hate Oasis.
Yeah, me too. I cannot stand Oasis.
Oh my God, I could never listen to that. So there are a lot of things that I really, and I don't know why. With few exceptions, and I know there are great artists. Like I know it's great. Like I want to like it.
Queen.
And I think it's more on an emotional level. I'm not saying it's bad. Basically, I hope you understand that. I'm not saying it's bad music.
Uh-huh.
I know it's great music, but I cannot connect emotionally with it. It's not...
With Queen? Queen is one of my favorite groups.
Queen, I just learned, and it's not because of the movie. I think it's because of you. I just learned to appreciate it. But for a very long time...
You didn't.
I did, and I loved... we have... What's the name? Wayne's World. Do you remember this movie? Wayne's World. You are maybe
probably in Spanish, because in Mexico we should do a topic of that, like how we destroy
the titles
in Spanish the titles of the movies. Like it's I probably watch a lot of movies because he has watched a lot of movies, and that's why he's the expert of movies and whatever. But when he asked me, I'm like, probably I don't know, but then I'm like, oh yeah. If it is like
we all have this problem. Like I remember when I was back when I was living in Texas, I had coworkers, and it came and it's same subject. They were asking me like, so when you watch the movies, American movies, do you watch them in English, in French? No, they're all dubbed. What do you mean dubbed? Well, you have a French voice, an actor that try to speak with same or synchronize it and same tone and try to get the joke right or whatever, the emotion. Is an actor for voice actor basically, and then okay, and the titles, and I said like sometimes we keep the same and sometimes it's totally different because it depends on the marketing. Well, like the production company decides what is the best title to market the movie. In France, it's very flexible. Like you can have a movie like it's an old movie, but Bodyguard that will remain Bodyguard. It's not going to be the equivalent Garde du Corps. Though in Quebec, Canada, they have a law that impose to translates everything in French. That means that every single American movie needs to have a French title. And they come up with stuff that don't like make any sense.
Yeah, in Spanish is the same. Like, probably they watch the whole movie, and probably the Titanic, it should be the Titanic, but I don't remember like Die Hard.
Yeah, proper name, proper noun. Like they keep it like Rocky is going to be Rocky.
Yeah. It's a name. It's a name, but let me see. Like, there's like very. Like in Spain, the Joker, it's the Joker in Spanish also. But if you go to Spain, El Bromista.
Okay.
The one the pranker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Oh, yeah. But something like that. In Mexico, we do the same. Like, they watch the whole movie, and then from the essence of the movie, they put the title, which has nothing to do with the title, the original. So why we were discussing?
No. I just to circle back, but my coworkers they were always like, because I was telling them, they were talking about a movie name, but from the early 90s, named Cool Runnings. Do you remember Cool Runnings? Okay, so it's a movie about the Jamaican team trying to make it into the bobsleigh Olympic Games.
No, I can tell you the name in Spanish. Jamaica bajo cero.
So Jamaica, which means Jamaica what?
Under 0 degrees.
Okay, so now you're ready for the French title? Because it's funny for two reasons. First of all, it's because they changed the name and use English for the name in French.
What?
Yes.
I already lost.
So
you lost
so
me.
The title in English of Cool Runnings movie title in French is.
Where is our tambor?
It's in the back, but wait. Cool Runnings in French. The title is Rasta Rocket.
No! What the hell? It has nothing to do.
And I had the same reaction because they were talking about Cool Runnings. I was like, what movie?
Why Rasta?
And they were telling me, the Jamaican team say, oh, Rasta Rocket. And everybody laughed.
Rasta Rocket? Like, it doesn't make any sense. No. Like, Rasta because it's Jamaican.
Yes, and Rocket
because of
fast. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, at least in Spanish, it was something related to be in the cool.
Yes.
In the cold.
Yes. And
Jamaica bajo cero. What the fuck
but
is that?
Rasta Rocket, yes.
But it's something, maybe it's a true story, right?
I think so, yes. I think
it's
a true story. Yes.
Yeah, well, something like this shit in Spanish, we come up with very weird names that constantly people hear now. It's like, oh, have you watched this movie? Like, probably not. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, sí, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. El amanecer de la tarde. No, it's Die Hard. Oh, okay. And they talk in Spanish.
You know what is Die Hard is a good example too, because you have like a lot of Die Hard movies.
I love Die Hard movies.
So on the first one, they're like and there's the opposite example actually for an American movie. But so it's Die Hard. They think it's going to be one movie, all right? So they know they named Die Hard the first one, which is like in the high tower building. Crystal Trap. Crystal Trap.
Crystal Trap because of the building.
Because of the glass in the building, I guess. So, and then, of course, number 2 came out. It was a huge success. So number 2 comes, and now they name it Die Hard. And then, for the years, it was not Crystal Trap. It was Die Hard, Crystal Trap. Die Hard 2.
Die Hard in New York. Die Hard.
And I think I don't know, because Rambo is a little bit different, but in France it's always been Rambo 1, Rambo 2, Rambo 3, Rambo 4, Rambo 5, Rambo.
I don't know how many Rambos.
John Rambo. I didn't watch the last 2, but I think it's in the US it was First Blood. It was not named Rambo.
First Blood?
Yeah, the first Rambo is called First Blood. I'm pretty sure. I didn't do the research. Sorry. Usually we should do research before, but I didn't that. And then they called it Rambo 2 with a title. So it's like the opposite, because they don't know what's going to be successful, which one is going to have a sequel. So we love sequels, obviously, for Die Hard and Rambo.
Well,
and
you
Rocky.
people please send comments. Put in comments like where this translation of if you are not from the U.S., like if you are from where?
I don't know.
Japan.
Yeah.
and
Anyway.
how they name a movie that is very, very popular. Because I think they need to approach the title to something related to the culture.
Yes.
So they need to know like
but
how to do
sometimes like I don't
yeah,
know.
they fuck it up like
sometimes it's somebody that is head
Well,
of whatever and say no, it's going to be that, and nobody.
Well, the porn movies, like I think there was a very popular one, like the deep
throat.
Yeah,
Deep throat.
In Spanish it's like garganta profunda.
Yeah, the same in French is gorge profonde, so deep throat.
Yeah,
basically.
okay, so
But
porn it doesn't apply.
That's from the 70s. Right?
That's for the 70s?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I
was born in
at
1980.
At what age did you see your first porn?
Very young.
Like what?
I'm sorry, Mom, Dad. No, they know because they knew, but they were experiencing my parents.
So wait, just to put it into context, I think we're talking about the time. I mean, for me, for sure, there was no internet at all.
No, it wasn't internet. No,
but just to put it in context, because people think that, oh, what do you mean when you watch your first porn? It's available right here. No, at the time it was not. It was whether whether some cable channels that would have that, or the magazine store,
or
magazine
or
to get magazines,
or some friend
and videotapes and rental
so
videos.
I think my mom and my dad, they were trying to keep the flame alive.
Mm-hmm.
So they were keeping porn videos like VHS videos, but they were hidden.
Yes.
And for some reason, we wanted to take something we were going out, like, I don't know what we were doing. And my brother found something like the VH. And he's like, oh, my dad and my mom, they have this. What is this? I don't know. But then we kept them there. And then for like a long time, we didn't do something. But one day it was summer, I remember, and we were super bored.
In the house.
In the house. So my parents, they weren't there. I had 9 years old. So my brother's like, oh yeah, let's watch the movies that my dad and my mom, they have kept there for a while. And we start, like ding, 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 ding. I'm here to fix your plumbing. I don't remember exactly the plot, but then we saw like and I was like, what is that? That's something. My eyes. So I was 9 and we watched it, and then the worst, well, I don't know if the worst part is that we invite our neighbors. Like, we were living in a really small neighborhood, like the one that you have here in front. So of course we were friends of the little kids of my age. So I knocked the door like, hey, my mom and my dad, they have porn. So
everybody flew to your house.
So we did that for like a week or two.
You did what?
Like, we were watching them, but because they had like 5 or 6, they were animals.
Wow.
And I don't know, and we touched that shit. Now I am thinking, anyway. So one day, probably one of the kids, because they were like, the kids like we were, like I was, like just having fun and, not making a big deal of it. But there were the others, the nerd ones. They were like, oh my God, this is a sin. I shall tell my parents. And, we called them Las Pelusas. That was the name of these girls, the Lints. Because they were always like, oh shit, sticking to us, even though we wouldn't. You
wanted to be hanging out with them, but they were always with you.
So I called them the Lints.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. But they were like, okay, don't say anything. But they told their parents, and their parents, of course, told everyone. Per se, I already had like a very bad reputation. So everything started at 9. And my parents were like, Fiona, we want to talk to you. And I was like, okay, what happened? Do you know what pornography is? My mom and my dad were like, very direct. No.
So you lied.
Yeah, I lied.
Okay.
And they was like, well, that's weird because we had 4 videotapes, and we have noticed that someone keep watching them. And I was like, okay, I did.
I did it.
But of course, they make a big deal of it because the other parents were involved.
Yeah.
Because at least in my family, we were very open to discuss this type of, sexuality. Of course, now that I am thinking this as a parent, of course, it's my responsibility not to have this type of material, right? Knowing that I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
And if they knew me, they should have known better.
Yeah.
So they took their responsibility, but because in this place that we used to live, my hometown, they are very, conservative and blah, blah, blah. So probably the other parents, they make a very big deal of it. So at 9.
At
dun,
9.
Dun, dun.
I think for me...
And that's when I figured that I was missing something.
Oh. I think for me... I don't really remember, but I know there was in the 80s this... I had a stepbrother that was 7 years older than me. So his only objective and goal in life were girls, basically. Which
did you learn something about that?
So for me too. So basically at 8, I was thinking like a 15-year-old. And I remember we had this cable channel that was the first one to have porn, but it was crypted. You need to have the
passcode or whatever.
You need to pay basically. But and we were having that, but the movie was supposed to be at 2 a.m, and parents were out. And I think we waited 2 a.m, and it was a big disappointment. The movie never came on, and I was so excited to.
You were like this.
Watch your porn for the first time. But I have to say, the relationship with nudity and things like that is a bit different. I don't. If we have an American audience, they should know. In Europe, we have commercials. With maybe not anymore because now it's
it's very regulated.
But at my time, I grew up with commercials where when you commercial for shampoo, you see breasts, you see bottoms, you see.
I mean, in Europe, it's normal.
You see naked people. They go in the shower, they're naked, and you don't see just the head, or they don't wear
So you used to
So it's I didn't have a problem with nudity per se. It was not something big revelation. And not only because of TV, the fact that also in movies it was
normal,
usual to see breast and have nude scene or sexual scenes, but not without it was not porn. It was just showing sexuality in a movie. I was not feeling super comfortable, but so it was. And of course, when you go to the beach in France, most women at the time also were topless. And you see a lot of
full naked
of women topless, and then you have black beaches, nude naturist camping camp and stuff like that, which I did go to twice. So my relationship with nudity was
normal. It's a daily thing.
But I was not sexual yet. At 8, I wasn't sexual. At 9, I wasn't sexual. At 10, I wasn't sexual. At
43, I wasn't sexual.
43, I'm not sexual anymore. Exactly. But it was there. But I didn't romanticize or make it sexual in my head.
So it's make love for you.
So then I watched porn for the first time. So I was probably 12 or 13, and it was a friend's same his parents had something. So I watched it, and I was I had my idea of sex was different, but what I was seeing, I knew what was porn, and it was just he's the plumber. Okay, I'm horny, and let's go. But I was not expecting something that was a little bit a colder approach to sex, because for me it was more fusion.
Yeah, it was making love for you.
Okay, yeah. It's not really making love, but as some type of more connection or something. Okay, whatever.
Connection and affection
you're going to make fun of me again. But then the same happened to me. One day I had the revelation. I don't know what happened. I fell in the office, and there was one cabinet that was open, and I was on the floor, and I saw behind some stuff. I saw videotapes. And I was like, I don't know. It's
At your
videotapes.
place or what?
At my place, yeah. And it was my stepfather's
Stock?
videotapes. And I used to look for them. I was like, I'm sure he has some because of discussions and stuff. When they have friends who were talking, sometimes it was coming up. And I was like, I'm sure he has some. I'm sure. And I was looking everywhere and nothing. And then one day, I don't know why I fell. I was like on the floor and I turned my head. Oh, it's right here. So then I could not wait for them to go to be invited somewhere, and I would be on my own at my place. And I was probably 12. And that was just watching on my own, but I was not even, touching myself at the time. I was not like sexual or whatever.
As for now.
But then the next experience was like an odd one. Because odd.
Odd?
Yeah, odd. Because I was at a party. So I was 14 years old, and we have birthday parties and stuff like that. And we were in this big house. I don't think there was any alcohol. There was no alcohol involved. I mean, we were 14, so I'm sure people are like, "What, 14 alcohol?"
Well, in Mexico, it's very normal.
In France, in France, it would have been like maybe at least beer. But I was not drinking at the time. I started drinking at 22.
At 43.
22. And I remember they put the TV on. It was a big party, and then I went into a room and I saw the TV on and saw porn, and there were guys watching and girls. And 14 to 17. And I was like, I was feeling like...
So it was an orgy for the vision.
No, I was feeling embarrassed. I was like, well, it's supposed to arouse you, so we're just going all to sit right here and watch the... and I did, and I sat and I was looking... Because for me, it's not that I wanted to watch I was still interested in sex or whatever, but just the fact to be in the same room with other girls and watching it as such, and I was getting sexual at that time. I was like, it was an interesting experience. But I have to say, and also I remember we had this. I was really reading magazines a lot when I was younger. I love my magazines. I was buying magazines about everything, and we had this magazine about the video releases, and at the end there was always big page with a lot of covers of videotapes covers that were going to be released, but for porn only.
Porn.
So there were not. It was tiny, so you could see the breasts, and I remember watching that. Exactly. But I have to say, they say porn for some people it gives you a wrong idea about sexuality.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be, because now you have it in every platform. It's very easy to have porn.
Yeah, but now you have even hardcore. Well, I mean, you had it before, but it's
now it's very hardcore.
But it's more accessible as well. That's the problem.
Once, seriously.
No, don't say it. No.
What?
Don't talk about hardcore things, please.
I want to talk whatever I want to talk, and what I want to tell you is I was 20 something, and I remember I was with my friends, and we were discussing funny videos, blah blah blah, and we were bored, so we were used to watch funny videos because 12 or 15 years ago, this YouTube stream or whatever it started. But anyway, so for some reason, my friend, he was looking for something, and it wasn't on purpose at all. It wasn't on purpose. We found videos of people having sex with animals. Yeah, but it wasn't on purpose. And for me, it was like, what? I cannot believe this shit is just... So and it was 15 years ago.
That's why I didn't want you to talk about it.
Yeah, okay, well... It's
or just okay, anyway, we don't have to talk about when it's hardcore, everything has been done, the things that you would not even imagine. No, I'm sure. But
what I meant is that it was 15 years ago, it was so easy, because I am serious. We weren't looking for that for some reason. And it was everyone we were laughing, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then, as I'm saying, 15 years or 16 years ago, it was so easy. I cannot imagine that now. The things that are out there, easy to find, and kids nowadays, everyone has, even as a parent, you put like many.
But that messes you up with your like it can mess you up with your sexuality. Like I know that like for me, like I'm a sensible man. I know that watching porn at such a young age, like for me, it changed like my approach to sex and the way I was.
So how is your approach to sex?
It. Well, I don't have any approach right now. But you because everybody's saying, oh, for me it didn't do anything. Like my sexual life is great, but you have to take into consideration that we're all different and that exposing some people to that can really mess them up.
Yeah, but not everyone.
Not everyone, but I remember.
There's many things that can change your.
Yes, but like in my 20s, the same thing. Like in my 20s, like I remember I was at this friend's house. And for how long he was showing only like porn clips, and he was laughing, and it got like more hardcore and more and more and more, and I was like, I need to leave it. I was like starting to feel sick because it was everything that I would not have searched and not have watched on my own.
Like what?
And at the beginning, at the beginning, it was like kind of funny because I was, this is disgusting, so it's funny, but it's funny 2 minutes. The guy was going on, and you could at some point you could tell that it was giving him pleasure to share that because it was normalizing what he liked. You know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was sharing it not because he wanted to normalize that, and
when it wasn't normal, by laughing.
It was sick.
Oh, okay.
It was really
but
sick.
that's why it's very important. Like, and I really appreciate that with my parents that they weren't so like very Mexican like. Because we are very, in general, conservative, but they try to approach differently. Like I said, especially my dad. So we have to, as parents, we have to talk about. I talk with my daughter already about sex, because, as I said, they have information everywhere. So instead of asking to a friend or whoever watching on YouTube or whatever, no, ask me. And I think I have done like. I'm not sure excellent job, but it started talking with her about the risk, about STDs, about the dangers.
That's another thing that messed me up too.
Danger, because as kids now, because of the quarantine, a lot of pedophiles are out there looking for, like in the internet. Like they know they know that there's a lot of kids now online. Yeah. So I was, since day one, I approached this matter with my daughter. So it's like, okay, you have to be careful because there's this type of persons, and some people is like, oh, but your daughter is too young to know that. No, I wish I knew this kind of stuff when I was her age, but the information was different. But
that's my fear. Like I don't want to talk about it like too soon if my daughter is not asking about it, but the problem is that I don't want her to know about this type of things coming from another kid that was taught like some
differently, or you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. No. I don't want her to have I want to be in control of a version and keep it like in a natural way of, instead of getting it from somebody that got like really shocked by something he saw his parents or anything, and then he tells it to his friends. I don't want her to have that version of the story.
No, but that's why I'm not telling you or you guys like just say everything. Of course you know your kid and you know how far you can go and what information, but I am telling you it's very important to give especially if you have a girl, to give information, and you have to make sure that it's you, and you have to make sure. What you just said. Yeah, you have to make sure that you are the one giving that information to your daughter.
Oh yeah.
Not another person that you don't know, and making sure that you create the bond of communication.
Well, I mean, that's for me the most important, that I don't talk specifics. I just say, when you want to talk about it, let me know. Or let your mother know, because I don't want you to have a version from a friend or from someone else. This is something that you need to discuss with your parent, because we want to approach it the way we think is suitable for you. So if you're ready to talk about it, if you have any questions, or if you hear something and it kind of like make you questions or wonder about stuff, ask us.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Because I don't want her to have like this idea of what sexuality is from another spectrum.
And we cannot keep them on a bubble. It's very hard now. I wish I could, and I wish we had. I mean, we have a lot of tools as parents. Like we have this spy app, so I know what my daughter, who is she talking to, what is she doing. But at school also they have interaction with other kids, and you don't know. Even in my days, I have 9 years old and I watch porn.
Yeah.
So now I want my daughter to have this information, and as you said, like do not have this misconception about sex. But well,
but these are the two things like that are very like personal for me, because I know that we're all different, but I know that like
really?
porn had like a negative effect on my sexuality.
Oh really?
Yes,
Like what?
And for two reasons. And then the STD, well, the AIDS, basically, because it was everywhere when I was young. It came out, in the 80s, in the 90s. Well, it came out in the 80s, but it was very big, and there were a lot which was good of information and communication and fighting about it. But I am from the generation where it was like, oh, be careful, you might die if you have sex and it's unprotected, and so there's that fear already that is created, like for a teenager that didn't
80s, 90s, yes.
I mean, I'm like dead on that generation.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The first thing that like messed up with porn, it didn't mess up my sexuality, but it messed up my
my what? Your sexuality? Your perception?
No, like the big problem with porn is the objectifying of women, and that was a big issue for me, because I never objectified women as a way to get sexual pleasure. For me, it was always like sharing the moment. Okay.
And?
Well, I was raised, I know I talk about that stuff first, but I was raised by my mother, like, and she was my everything. So I always had like more respect for women and strong women than for guys that for me were always deceiving. So that's my background, basically. So when it comes into sexuality and you are heterosexual, and the only thing that you see about sexuality is people on TV objectifying women, like it's really their sexual object. Like for me, it wasn't like the act of seeing sex it was arousing, but I didn't have the premises. I didn't like the whole script of the thing, and which like created like some type of questioning on if I am intimate with a woman, is she expecting that from me? Because that's not what I want. I mean, at that time, for me, it was really about, okay, you're going to like roll your eyes, sharing and fusion and connection.
I have nothing. Poker face.
So it's not like it messes you up like deeply, but it brings that type of questioning at the moment. So you're not really present, because you're always like wondering, oh, should it be this? Should it be that? Well, that's who I am, I guess. I was already anxious. And then there's the second thing, is STDs. Is because like at least from me in France, like every single day there were put your condom on, and you have like shows that was raising money for the research for the cure for AIDS, and it was everywhere on commercials every day. Protect yourself, and to the point for me, for sensitive type of
guys.
People, where you have like. So you have all these questions, and then you're like, okay, should I put it right now? Like, am I risking something?
Should I kiss her? Should I do this? Should I do that?
Yeah, so it's way too much questioning when you're supposed to be in the moment, basically. So
how has
really
impact
good.
That right now?
No, and then there was the third thing, that is something that I don't know, we don't talk about a lot, and it has nothing to do with size. I'm not saying that for that, but I experienced like quite often condoms getting ripped during the act. So that raised like some type of paranoia and scare.
In the 90s? In the 90s?
Well, for me, from my personal experience.
So you go, how do I say? Like you use some a condom that was
yes, and no, and on top of that, so it's going to get really, but I remember a couple of times where I didn't know it was like all ripped already, like, and it's, I was like, oh yeah, this is like getting really good, really better, and it's only at the end that you see you only have like the base, the elastic and the base.
Oh, okay, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. So then you have like the fear of like, pregnancy
or
STDs.
AIDS.
So you see all these things that I brought up, like it's not. I mean, I'm sure like sex is not easy for anyone. And on top of that, as you grow up, you learn what you like better than other things, and you have.
What did you like? What, like, do you think you encountered the same like fears, like the ones that you were saying?
I think as you grow older, you like not,
you don't care.
Like for many things, like you're not as self-conscious
like
about,
what
about
like
things.
what from where you were 20 and now, what have changed in that personality? Like you said, like, oh, this define my vision of sex, because that was for the last 10 minutes.
I like for me, and we talked about that before, like what people were thinking about me was really important. So that means I was in a constant fear of disappointing or not doing the right things. So I was like kind of stressed, like even without. So imagine this type of situations. So I just wanted to make sure that I was doing, what they liked. I never was thinking about me, which developed, I think, for me, the fact that I don't have pleasure if the other one doesn't have
pleasure.
So, yes.
Well, that's normal. I mean, if I am having,
it's the opposite of porn. Like in porn, like the guy comes in, I just need a hole and do it.
No, I mean, I think a lot of people. I mean, for me, it's the same. I got pleasure knowing that my partner is having pleasure.
Yes.
Because what's the point of you being there if you don't?
But that's the opposite of what we see in porn, which is like, the guy doing his thing.
What kind of porn did you watch? I will show you some.
Well, I do watch porn nowadays because I have no sexual life. So
your VR?
From time to
he
time.
has a VR.
Oh yes.
And how is the experience?
We talked about it before.
We talked about
yes,
porn.
We didn't mention yes.
How is it?
Oh, it's great.
For someone that doesn't like to objectify the woman.
No, but because what I like is like.
I know, I don't know what you like.
So okay.
I cannot hear me very well. Okay.
What I like is that both. First of all, like you kind of feel like they're right here, even though if you don't feel. But I like that you have like this impression, like when somebody like whispers in your ear, so you feel that closeness that you don't have when you're just watching
the screen,
because you have the sound right here. When somebody comes to your right here, you can somebody whisper. But anyway, no, I don't have like my sexual life nowadays is almost non-existent, and on top of that, it's really hard because I know that some people that they're always ready. They're like
we have the Tinder challenge. What happened?
Yeah, but some people are always ready, like 24/7 ready. I was listening to another podcast the other day, and she was explaining that her husband is very different from her. Like he doesn't come to her. It's not like he never asks for it, but every time she comes to him, he's ready. Like he never says no. It's not like he doesn't want to. It's just like it's not his style to come and engage and do it.
The initiator.
Like for me, it's really different. There are really like some days or some moments. So like I really don't. I'm like, oh my, no, I don't want to have sex with myself right now. but
don't ask. Don't bother to ask because I will say no. Do you understand?
And sometimes, so I don't know if it's hormonal or anything like that, but it does change from time to time. So I don't have like a constant mood or thing that is like really
but you haven't answered my question.
What was your question?
Yeah, because you were everywhere. Like, what have changed
in my life?
No, in your life, like in your sexual life, like you say, like, okay, these are the things that define my sexuality that are really hard to get rid of.
Yeah, I didn't want to point like. We have, you have different number of partners in our life, and you have some people that are fine to be like with the same one for many years, and it doesn't make them wonder, have I explored everything sexually, or maybe it's not even one of their objectives or one of their goals, which is fine. I know for me, because I had like this type of like discomfort because of the way sexuality was presented to me, and the AIDS fear and all this thing. I felt like in my early years that I really needed to experience with different partner to know what was working for me. And you really have like different type of women, the ones that know what they like and tell you and do it, and you have some that are really shy, and then it teaches you how to take control of the situation, and but so I still don't remember what was your question, but through experience you discover what you like. There are some things that I watched in some movies that I was like, oh, I should really try that. But overall, I think things that I've learned through the years is like, first of all, yes, there needs to be like some type of connection. It's not because somebody opens the legs that I'm going to be. I need to feel that the other one has pleasure, whether they're lying or not, because otherwise, like literally, it happened to me. Like I could not finish or perform or whatever.
Finish.
No, because I was, and then you discuss. Oh no, it's just like I'm very quiet or whatever. It's just the second thing is the freedom.
Okay.
Feeling like you don't have any restriction. And you're like totally open, and you really like give yourself without fear of what
being judged.
Being judged, what the other is thinking. Is like really like just sharing this moment, and we don't care about anything that has been taught to us of the principles of what to do, what not to do. Like as long as you respect each other and you want to have pleasure together and enjoy, then you do it. Those are the two main things that if I don't feel like that I have that freedom, that it is really like restricted. And that the other one doesn't really, maybe they want to do it, but they are not getting really a lot of pleasure out of it. Then
you don't feel like it.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, remember we have a Tinder challenge with this guy.
Yeah, I haven't done anything. I mean, it's hard to do Tinder when you're like in semi-confinement.
Okay, well, send your recommendations.
And the same thing, like different moods. Like sometimes I feel really lazy. Like I don't feel like trying to start like a discussion to get somewhere, and
well, you never know.
It's an investment that I'm not sure I'm ready to
invest.
To do right now.
Okay, well,
but I do miss it sometimes.
I do miss it sometimes. Well, keep using your VR. Okay, we will discuss probably in some other episodes
maybe about your sexuality.
About my sexuality,
yes.
Which is non-existent. We need feedback. We need feedback about these episodes, please, because we are doing this because we like it and because we think we are funny, but probably we are not. And
no,
it's
really to share. We want to start we have a conversation, and we all want to have a conversation with
purpose.
With people that are listening, and it can give us idea of the next topic and things that you want to know more about.
And as we said in the beginning, we are not like super good English speakers, but at least you understand what we are trying to say. And if you don't, we are teaching you a big lesson of life, which is patience.
Yes.
And we are living times when we need to be patient and tolerant. And we need to accept each other. We need to accept every background. As long as you don't hurt anyone, as long as your motto in life is share good things, to be good with others.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. You're welcome here.
Yes. So let's wrap it for today. And don't forget to subscribe.
It's in the tiny. I think it's in this tiny spot.
It might change, like in 10 years from now, it will be different. So.
Are you okay?
Subscribe wherever it is at this point.
It's a watermark. It's super.
Small.
I tried to make it better, but I could not.
No.
So I think it's gonna be in this part of the video.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So, click.
click on subscribe.
Click and subscribe.
Share
and care.
Share, because that's the only way we can gain the audience is if you share, and we can have more
And you
views.
can say like, hey, we found some dudes that have daddy issues. They have
mommy issues.
They have what?
Mommy issues.
Mommy issues. They apparently have sexual issues.
Yes.
They have a lot of fears.
They're just like us.
Yeah, they are loud.
Yes.
But we are
You just killed the
people. We are
microphone.
humans. We are humans. So make things happen, and goodbye.
Yes, and we'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Bye. Super right now.